What is good, everybody? Welcome to the first and official episode of the Baka Talkz Podcast, man. Brings me so much joy to say that, man. It's been 2 years
Two
since we've
motherfucking years, bro.
2 years since we officially even thought of this as a thing, man. Been planning, things going on, life happening, but it's finally here, man. I'm glad to be here with my dogs, man, and finally getting this rolling. Before we start, I want to introduce my dogs because this could not be happening without all of us doing this together. The teamwork, the coordination, everything, man. It's just popping, it's booming. So, want to get introductions out the way. Obviously, my name is Will. I go by Nappy Heads. Social media, you can find me at Nappy Heads on pretty much anything, Instagram, Twitter, whatever the case may be. I'm on there. Um, and yeah, I want to give it away to my boys here, man, and we'll get started.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Dre. I go usually by Dre D Boy YouTube. Your boy Dre on Twitch. I be gaming and shit. Love to talk anime.
What's good, everybody? My name is Tyler. You can follow me on Twitch. I like to game. Obviously, we're here to talk about anime, and we're gonna have a great discussion with the boys.
Plug the Twitch, bro. Let's hear the Twitch handle, man.
Oh yeah, the Twitch handle, the_golden_tiger. Tiger spelled Tyger.
I'll have all that linked down in wherever we're watching this at Apple, Spotify, or YouTube.
We'll definitely have it plugged, but we are also missing a member right now. He is currently busy. No worries there. He'll be here next time and for the long run as well, obviously, our boy Terry. And we'll also have all his information plugged down below as well. But to get started on this, man, I mean, obviously, this is a manga, anime, weeb, nerd, whatever you want to classify it as. It is a weeb culture podcast, man. Going to be talking about all different types of things as far as anime news, culture, opinions, hot takes, everything you could think of, man. And honestly, this wouldn't be possible, like I said, without my homies here, man. So definitely blessed to be doing this. But kind of like a little icebreaker here, man. Let's kind of get things rolling here. Want to ask my boys a question here. What are some things that we're currently tapped into? I mean, think that's a good way to kind of get everyone to get familiar with us and kind of get a gauge of what we're into and how deep we are into this. Because I mean, obviously, anime and manga is as popular as it's ever been, and we can get into that later as well. Because I want to have a specific conversation about that. But what are some things that you guys are currently into right now?
You know, the obvious being One Piece. I'm an active Berserk reader, of course. But I haven't been reading too much. It's mostly been watching. I've been watching Shangri-La Frontier. I was kind of asleep because of the nigga with the bird mask and shit. So that's a banger. The SAO progressive movies where they redid the whole story.
I do gotta tap into those.
Facts, they're fire, bro. It's really done well. I want to say, actually, Soul Eater. I've been reading Soul Eater, so I watched Soul Eater all the way through, and I was left wanting more. So I've been reading the perfect edition of that. I've been collecting them, and yeah, Mashley. It's a whole long list, and we can get into that more later. But I want to give the floor to my boy Tyler.
All right, so I mean, kind of similar to you, I really haven't been reading too much manga right now. Definitely been trying to watch some more anime. I have been watching Shangri-La Frontier. I can definitely stamp that as it's pretty good so far. Similar to you, I was pretty hesitant because the main character, the bird head, kind of threw me off, right?
Yeah, facts.
But it's fire. The opening is an absolute banger. Been loving that. And then I've also been trying to watch Ninja Kamui. I watched the first episode on HBO Max. It starts off hot, so that's been pretty good, and I'm looking forward to watching the rest of that.
Fire, bro. I haven't tapped in the Shangri-La Frontier. I've been seeing it everywhere though. So
bro, it's
that
SAO
and,
done better
it's
in my
valid.
opinion. Like in terms of like following that man in his leveling journey, you're actually seeing stuff happen. You're seeing battles go out, and it's like you're an MMO character. You're broken regardless. Like if you play MMOs, you know, like you go through and you kind of just shit on stuff if you're really good. But And this, it's like it's not just them being OP, it's them showing the steps on why they're OP and like what they're doing. And even the bosses in there, bro, they're actually giving them trouble and stuff. So yeah, definitely tap
Yeah,
into that.
that sounds
The
fire, bro.
animation is fire too.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, bro. Like I said, it's been all over. Like Crunchyroll, it's been like the most popular thing for God knows how long now since it's been airing. So every time I go in there and I'm peeping the shit I be tapping in with, like it's always there. So the bird head definitely stuck out to me though. Like it definitely stuck out to me.
oh,
So
you see why.
I mean,
You see why.
He's cool though. He's a cool MC.
Yeah, and instead of him just being that like broken pro tag, it's like he's broken because of the games he played before he's playing this game that he's
Yeah.
playing now. And it's kind of funny how they do it. That's why I once I figured out that and like the reason he's like explaining all that each episode, like if he has a skill in the game and he's like, oh, like no, everyone's like confused on why he's doing it. It explains it, and it'll go into a backstory of him playing a game that resonates with that said skill. It's like it's fire, bro. It's fire.
that's gas, bro. I mean, when it comes to shit I've been tapping in with, man. I mean, I'm for those that know, they know I'm big into reading. I read more than I watch. As far as things I am watching, I was reading and watching Undead Unluck, which is pretty good. Definitely kind of odd. I've seen some things on Twitter about it, so it definitely intrigued me when it got an adaptation finally. So I definitely tapped in with that. Mashal, obviously, that got me into reading the manga. The like season and a half I was watching definitely got me reading the manga. So getting towards the end of that, solo leveling, obviously, we can talk about that. That's one thing that I've been waiting for. Big fan of the manhwa. Um, Ninja Kamui, definitely, definitely a good one. Don't really get too many good gores that I'm interested in personally. A lot of gory anime, so I'm a whore for action shit. So definitely tapped in with that. I got to peep that new episode as well. And as far as what I'm reading, obviously New Gen, JJK, One Piece, Blue
Hmm.
Lock, My Hero, Black Clover, caught up in all that. Kaiju, caught up with that. Um, big fan of Chainsaw Man. Eden Zero, Fairy Tale 100 Years, and then obviously I got some manga in the bag as well. Reading a manga right now called Overgeared. Solo leveling vibes too. A lot of manga I noticed do have those solo leveling vibes, at least from what I've seen. There's obviously all types of genres out there, but Overgeared definitely Sun Jin type vibes, if not a little different, but it's definitely gas, getting deeper in that, and definitely trying to tap in with some other things as well. But as far as what you guys have, I mean, just kind of looking at the broad scope of everything, how do you guys feel animanga as a whole is right now? Like the state of it. How do you think it is right now?
Honestly, I think anime and manga right now is the most popular it's ever been. Manga sales are doing the best they've ever done. Anime is doing the best it's ever done. Like you're having a lot more people who never watched anime, weren't into it when they were younger, starting to get into it, especially like the older crowd, people in their 20s, even adults. I'd be seeing TikToks of adults watching One Piece now. And some of my coworkers that I work with, they watch One Piece and they were never anime advocates. So I love seeing the growth of anime and how far it's come because obviously you guys have known growing up watching it, experiencing anime, like you used to get made fun of for that. So to see everyone hopping on the wave, it's pretty cool to see and seeing everyone just share the love and experience for the culture is awesome. I like it.
Facts. And to preface, ladies and gentlemen, we are not one of those weirdos. We don't get mad at people that are new to anime just because we were quote unquote bullied or like made fun of because it was uncool. We just love to see new people in the space, really. You
Hmm.
see
Yeah,
rappers and
facts.
shit
The
like
gatekeeping shit
Meg.
is weird.
Facts, bro. You see all these rappers and different things referencing more and more. And it just feels good. But as far as any manga as a whole, I couldn't agree more with Tyler, honestly. From One Piece being like worldwide now, like everyone knows about One Piece. Every country you see out there, they got like I think it was even for like the Palestine stuff. They were doing like Luffy shit out there in the other countries, like putting up this. People are doing in the Olympics. They're doing Luffy gear too. Like
Yeah,
honestly, we up. I wish our video games would follow. We kind of get hold in that
facts.
department, but
Big facts.
Mm,
yeah, as a whole though, animanga, especially me, I'm a big Soul Eater guy. So when I found out his apprentice was making a new manga, Gachi Okuda, I had to hop on, and that's been a banger since first chapter, honestly. So
Mhm.
yeah, I couldn't agree more with both of y'all.
Yeah, I to piggyback off both of y'all, man. I agree 100%. Like I've been reading manga, watching anime since like third grade, man. Like I remember snagging copies of Naruto, which I still have to this day from the book fair. Like got caught stealing these hoes from the book fair type shit, bro. Like
mm.
so crazy to see how much it's become normalized. And like I saw this shit on Twitter. Like this dude said, I'm not an anime nigga. I'm a nigga that watches anime." Like I
Facts.
feel like there's like a key difference in those two things. Like they're the weirdos, obviously, and everyone's gonna enjoy things how they want to enjoy. Like we're not here to bash how you gonna live your life. You're gonna do what you do, obviously. But I just appreciate it, man. Like, and especially like when it comes to manga too, like anime's like in a whole different stratosphere now. But a lot of people are picking up manga, bro. Like I'm peeping people I follow on social that I would never have like considered manga readers at all, or like would think they would fuck with that type of shit. And I'm seeing people post manga. Like people are reading JJK, they're reading Berserk, Vagabond, One Punch
Ooh,
Man,
facts.
like all these different things. Tokyo Ghoul, like they're experiencing it because like the art in these things are insane, bro. Like for those
Yes.
that know, they know.
Since we're
Like
going
the
off of
man,
experiences right now, what was y'all's like first interaction with anime? Like, what was the first thing that got you into it and then got you watching more?
Dragon Ball,
Mm.
my cousin Mikkel, man. Shout out to
Yeah.
Mikkel. I know he'll probably be listening to this. I can remember, bro. I even have the volume. It's not the same one that we read, but it's the same volume. Dragon Ball Z. It was the copy with it was the Buu Saga, and it had Gohan, Goku, and Super Saiyan 3, Gotenks and Super Saiyan 3 on the back cover doing like a joint attack. I don't know if it was a Kamehameha or whatever it was, but like that is really what got me on. And then obviously Naruto came right after that. To be honest, like One Piece wasn't really a thing. Like I kind of followed it throughout high school. They were in like the Dressrosa arc back then. So it wasn't really the best time, in my opinion, obviously, for newcomers to
Mm.
kind of hop on the wave at that time. Just because my opinion on Dressrosa, we'll get on that another day. But
I feel you. I
as
know.
far, it just didn't seem like an arc I wanted to get into, but I was definitely tapping in. Like that's around the time when Bounce Man was a thing finally. So I remember hearing the rumors about that and the spoilers for that. And then I finally got into One Piece not too long ago, about like 3 years ago at this point, 4 years ago. Yeah,
Mhm.
4 years ago. Damn. So we were still in Wano country at that time. But as far as what got me into it, man, like the Dragon Ball Z anime, the movies, man, like I can just remember vividly just watching the Broly movies, Fusion Reborn, Super Android, 13, and all these things. Like it's just, it was crazy, bro. It was so crazy. But it kind of widened the scope for me from there. Like I was just hooked, man. So became a weeb literally at a young age. So
Dope, dope. You, Tyler?
Yeah, I think for me, I first got into it on Cartoon Network, watching Toonami and stuff late at night. And, you would see Dragon Ball would air, One Piece would air. I would watch Inuyasha all the time, every day before school as a kid. And obviously Pokemon too. Pokemon was a huge one for me.
On
I
God.
would say
um,
that's really what sold me, honestly, because I've loved Pokemon since a kid, and Will knows this. I still play Pokemon to this day. I'll grind it at least once a week, so that's where my love and passion for anime really came from.
man, shout
Alright,
out
bro.
Inuyasha, man. Definitely
Big
Inuyasha was
facts.
definitely on there. Shout out to Nami, man. Nami definitely
Yeah.
Dude,
put a
wake up
lot
at
of
4
focus
a.m. on
on.
Adult Swim.
Hmm.
Inuyasha come on. You just like, what is going on?
And he was tough too.
Tough as hell.
He was tough.
I definitely have a more similar path to you, Will, more than anything. Besides, like for me, it's between Dragon Ball and Gundam actually. So we had
Ooh.
Endless Waltz. My uncle, my dad were big into Gundam. I can't remember which was on first, but I know for a fact we had every single Dragon Ball CD, DVD, like you name it. My dad had that shit. We had figurines, transform. Like for me, it was like a multitude of cartoons that you would basically classify as anime, and then the classics like Dragon Ball Z, eventually Naruto from Cartoon Network. But yeah, man, shout outs to the Pops, bro. Pops had me right, bro. He had me on every game system, had me on every anime. And that's
That's
just
what's
been
up.
that was the start of my geekdom.
Yeah, I could never have expected that it would have blown up as much as it did. Because like we were saying, man, like back then it was just it
It was
wasn't
weird.
as normalized. Yeah, I mean Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh were really like the main
You
things.
still
And
couldn't talk
obviously
about
like
that shit though. Especially
I
that
yeah.
swear.
Pokemon at school. You was getting clowned.
Well, I mean,
You're
like
like, you like
Pokemon was probably like
Pokemon,
the most
bro?
normal thing, at least in my area. Like people had Pokemon cards, but like when it came to things like Naruto and Dragon Ball, like that's where people were crossing the line. So I'm just like, where
Yeah. For
how
me,
are we like
after
forever?
middle school, Pokemon was you getting made fun of, kid.
That's
They seen
facts.
you playing that shit
Oh,
out
that's
of middle
facts.
school is raps for you. Even late middle school, low key was kind of taboo.
Definitely middle school is when I definitely saw the
The shift.
weird the weird energy for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
The runners.
The
I'm an
runners.
advocate. I'm an advocate for like thinking like comics and manga are pretty much in the same thing. It's
Yup.
just American version of that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like what manga is in Japan is what comic books are here. DC, Marvel, whatever the case may be,
Yep.
Spawn, all that stuff. So I
Mm.
mean, yes, it may have darker tones, but manga has dark tones too. Like there's scene in manga, bro. There's Berserk, there's Vinland Saga, there's Vagabond, there's
Mhm.
ReZero in the anime space. Like there's all different
Yeah.
types of things. I mean,
Nigga,
obviously I don't think
even One Piece,
ReZero is
bro. It's so cartoonish and like goofy, but shit got real a couple times. Well, a lot of times in that manga.
100%. And they
I
take
think,
aspects from what happens in the real world and
Mhm.
apply to them to their own story.
yeah. And I think the ones that really help shed light to a lot of people as far as like a safe anime for them to get into like the entire genre for things like Attack on Titan, I feel like was really big in that
Mhm.
for the
100.
casuals. Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, JJK is doing numbers for the casual community right now.
Mhm.
I mean, even things like Chainsaw Man, obviously Dragon Ball, Naruto, and Bleach have their effects, but a lot of people are coming in to it through Attack on Titan, through My Hero Academia, through Jujutsu Kaisen, and obviously Demon Slayer. I forgot Demon Slayer.
Oh,
Demon
that's
Slayer
a
is
Oh,
huge
yeah.
one nowadays. Huge one. I
Demon
mean,
Slayer.
even in Japan and a little bit in the States, SAO has had its share of merch and media that's come out that everyone's just fallen in love with. So I most definitely agree. These intro anime manga that you could almost say they're not too intro, but they really are now, is leading into people getting 1,000 episodes into One Piece. So I definitely agree.
Yeah, and people are finally starting to make the climb to the One Piece, man. Going through, man. Like I got a couple homies now who are finally getting into it and they're enjoying it.
I'm one
Like,
of them,
cause
bro.
What's up?
It's like less than a year to a year that I started.
I don't
I
think
remember you telling
there's a
me
better place besides now to get into One Piece. Like there's
facts.
not have been a
It's banging.
better opportunity than now to read One Piece
I
just
remember
because of the
you
price
telling me
point.
like before Rooftop, you said, "Bro, it's time. You gotta tap in."
It was definitely time, bro. And I think COVID really helped me because I got into One Piece because my son was born. We were in lockdown. So I was
Mhm.
at the crib. I wasn't working. I was just getting checks, staying at home watching One Piece, man, because my job didn't know what the hell was going on. So I literally finished One Piece in like 6 months, man. I caught up and we were in Onigashima by the time I caught up to that. So then I got into the manga and Gear 5 and now we're here. I don't want to throw out
Yeah.
spoilers, obviously, because we don't know who's going to be listening to this, but
Facts.
One Piece is crazy, man. It's crazy. Like it's definitely I don't want to compare it to Dragon Ball, obviously, but it's definitely feeling more like Dragon Ball.
With the
Like back in
moments.
the day. Exactly. Like
Yeah.
back in the day, even
Mhm.
outside of like the anime itself, like just for the culture, like back there on Thanksgiving, we would see Goku as a blimp at the Macy's parade. Now we're
Ooh,
seeing Luffy out there now, bro. Like what the
Mhm.
hell?
facts.
Like we got Luffy everywhere, like at sporting events, like you said, man. Like all types of references to Luffy, athletes doing gear 2 stances, and it's crazy, bro.
I
Like
love it, man. I
it's
love
actually
seeing it.
it's only gonna get better, man. Like as the next, I'd
Facts.
probably say like 5 to 6 years until it ends, if not more. I mean, who knows, man? Oda's gonna do what Oda does, but it's gonna get even crazier, man. And as people see the excitement build up, more people are gonna get on it because they want to. That's the thing. They want to see what everyone's bickering about, what everyone's like raving about. So they want to be included in that too.
Yeah.
So
They want to see what's so popular about this show. Why does everyone love it? What's so attracting about this show? And it
the
makes them
amount of
curious, man.
episodes or chapters is what deters people, man. But once you get
Facts.
into it, you're like, damn, I want more. Like, why isn't there more of this?
That's how I felt. That's what got me to read, honestly. That and
Like
Berserk, obviously.
1,000.
Oh man, Berserk was probably the best read I ever had in my life, honestly.
Oh yeah, don't get me
But
on
just
Berserk.
just
That's
Crazy
crazy.
wanting,
story.
it's the wanting of more. Like I kept getting into Soul Eater, and then I watched some videos. I'm like, I saw a video doing a retrospective and explaining how much was missing from the manga. And when I actually picked up one of the perfect editions I finally got, I realized just how much was missing from the anime. And reading has just honestly, it comes to a point with reading manga that you like forget you're reading the manga and you start animating it in your head. I don't know if y'all are the same, but that's how it is for
Yeah,
me.
Nah, 100%.
And
exactly.
but
It
as
honestly
far
it goes,
as
bro.
the current state, what is one of the current mangas you seek to like pick up? Like what's something that you definitely want on your shelves right now?
I feel
Like
like
something I've already read or something new?
Both. It could be anything, just anything you're like
Mm,
wanting to collect right now, anything you got your eyes on. Like for me, is the perfect edition of Soul Eater. Soon, maybe collecting some Bleach. I definitely want some One Piece.
I'm gonna just throw this out there now, but the storm is coming, man. Sakamoto Days, when that gets animated, it's gonna be crazy. Like I'm caught up in the manga. For those that read it, they know what I'm talking about. The paneling, the choreography, everything is insane. Like top tier sequences of action in that shit. When that shit gets animated, if it gets a good studio, obviously, and like the type of love that things like JJK, Demon Slayer get, that shit's gonna boom, bro. Like that shit is crazy. Like I see a lot of people raving about that on Twitter, and it's well deserved, man. I don't know if you guys read it, but Sakamoto Days is definitely one to keep an eye out for right now. That's definitely a Nappy recommendation to throw out there. If you haven't tapped into it and you like things like JJK, One Punch Man, stuff like that, you would definitely fuck with Sakamoto Days, and that's definitely a thing to keep an eye out for.
What would
As
you
well
say
as
like the whole vibe? You obviously said One Punch and JJK, but like what's the category, all that stuff?
so it's an or it's an assassin manga. I was gonna say anime. It's an assassin manga. So Sakamoto's a retired assassin that found a wife, got a family, works at a convenience store, and is somehow, simple terms, dragged back into that previous life that he left.
mm.
And he is just cracked, bro. Like, dude went into retirement, got fat, living his life, just ducked off, doing his thing, running his store, and is still able to kill people with things like a fucking pencil sharpener or a fucking pen or just the most random shit. Like, I saw some shit,
Uh,
bro, about who would win in a fight, Toji or Sakamoto, bro. It's easily Sakamoto. And those that know about
Dang,
Toji, they know Toji is
that
that
guy.
dude. But
he's a demon.
Sakamoto, you can't give Sakamoto something as little as a rock, bro. Like you have to put Sakamoto in the barren ass
I'm gonna have
place,
to tap in, bro.
No, for
nothing
real.
around, because he can turn literally anything, and I mean anything, into a weapon. It doesn't matter. Dude turned a pair of headphones into some nunchucks, bro. Like,
Oh, he's
like
tough.
literally
That's
some
OD.
headphones, bro. Like just the most creative shit, bro. And like I said, the choreography is insane. The paneling is insane. So if you're a manga reader and you're really looking for some good action shonen, definitely tap in with that because that's definitely gonna boom once that comes up. And then speaking of popular, we gotta talk about Solo, bro. We gotta talk
Oh,
about Solo
oh,
leveling
I do have to
because
read,
What
but
the
that anime, ooh boy, that shit's
anime's
going
been gas.
stupid.
Hmm. I'm
And it's
sad though they're
really,
only doing 12 episodes.
Oh, until they go on
I'm
their
hearing
break.
conflicting things about a part, like a continuation, like a part two to season one, like another 12. I mean, I guess it would be considered season two, but I'm hearing that we're going to get 24, but we're going to get an initial 12 first, and then we'll get a break, probably a couple months or so, and then
Mm.
part two will come out.
Oh,
Because
so
there's
their
no way they
season.
can space this out to like a year or so. Like it's too popular, bro. Like it's one of the most popular anime on Crunchyroll ever. Like, and people, I'm surprised by it honestly, because like we've had webtoons get animated. We've had Tower of God, God of High School, things like that.
Oh, don't get me
And
started on God of High School, bro.
I feel like the reactions weren't as crazy as I expected because I'm caught up in Tower of God, the manga, like the online webtoon for it. It's like over 600 chapters now. So they're way, way, way far behind. Like they're just about to do season two, I think, in the summertime finally. But solo leveling, that should really help with more manhwas getting animated, like more manhwas getting
Mhm.
recognized. Because
I,
not only do webtoons, like they're more easier to read for a lot of people because they're colored. You read them like traditionally, like how Americans read it. We don't read it backwards, like how manga
Hmm.
is. And the action is crazy, the story is crazy, the characters are crazy, etc. Like I can rave
Facts.
about that shit all fucking day.
I mean, we can go into a discussion pretty much now about that because when it comes to Tower of God, I think they were one of the first, right? Tower of God came out as one of the first webtoons
Yeah,
to
I
get
can't
adapted,
remember any other
and
webtoons
I
getting
thought it
animated.
did pretty well. Pretty sure it did well, and then I think what really fucked it up for everybody in their eyes was God of High School. How quickly paced they did everything compared to what I heard that people that did read compared to how they
Yeah.
animated it. Because I was confused as hell watching that anime. I was they were in the tournament, and then out of nowhere he started unlocking the god powers, and then shit just went crazy. I was like, well, what is even going on? Who are these characters? We didn't even get intros for a lot of characters that are supposedly they were like more integral to the story, but we just knew them as some random character that just popped up.
That's wild.
And from what I've seen too, is that's really just the tip of the iceberg. Like there's so like God of High School is such a deep story. Like I have a friend, actually a couple friends that are caught up in that. Well, I guess finished it because God of High School, I'm pretty sure is done.
Yeah.
Going through my manga app right now. Yeah, it's finished, bro. It's 572 chapters.
Sheesh.
I did know that, well, I did hear that they skipped through a lot of the introductory stuff in that first season. So there's a lot of like fluff that was taken out. I wouldn't even really consider it fluff, but there was a lot of stuff that was like taken out that would have added to it. I don't know if it was a budget thing. I don't even know, to be honest. I didn't do any research on it. But as far as that goes, I'm sure it's gonna come back. Solo leveling is really gonna boost how people recognize manhwa because a lot of people don't even know what manhwa is, like the Korean
Comic
webtoons and
book,
stuff
yeah.
like that. Like,
Hmm.
excuse me, this is really gonna shed light on a lot of that. And obviously, they're gonna be buying off the shelves now. Like they're doing collectors box sets of solo leveling now. I have like the first 5 volumes physically. Can't wait till they drop the second one. So
Yo,
it's definitely gonna help. I think it's really a good thing.
I most definitely agree. If y'all haven't read any of the webtoons, they're like you said, they're very easy to read compared to manga because you can even put it in a long strip and just keep scrolling and read the entire thing from top to bottom. It's all in color. They usually animate it as if they're animating in anime, so you get to see different motion and stuff. It's a really good, easy read.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
not
it's
bad.
easy to get locked into those too, like a lot more than traditional Japanese manga, like because of what you guys said, because it's colored. Like you said, Dre, you can read it where you can just scroll up and down. You can kind of read it pretty fast. So I get locked in whenever I read those. So definitely recommend.
Yeah, and Solo is a short read, so I mean the anime is not gonna
Hmm.
be too deep. I mean, I could see like probably honestly, I mean, where they're at now in the manga now, I was comparing it with the actual box sets. They're gonna probably complete I think they've gone through the first 3 books, like 1 through 3 at this point,
How
and
many books
then they're
total
gonna
are there?
get through. So there's 200 and actually no 200 chapters flat, so just straight 200 chapters because they just added more not too long ago.
Mm.
Last summer they did a continuation because the artist of Solo Leveling, not the author, but the illustration person that was
Okay,
in
okay.
charge of like drawing everything, he had passed away.
Dang,
So a lot of
RIP.
people, including myself, felt like the ending was kind of flat in a way.
Mhm.
So what they did is they did a epilogue. I won't get into what it's about because it's really, really big spoilers, but they did an epilogue that kind of gave you a fitting conclusion to how everything wrapped up, and it made it a lot nicer. Left a lot of things up to interpretation, obviously, but all in all, it was really good how they wrapped it up, in my opinion, because they gave us like an extra like 10 plus chapters, I think, because I'm reading through it right now on my app. And this all, I think this ended at in the 180s, bro, if not the 170s. So they gave us a handful of chapters afterwards. So, but yeah, it won't be that long. I mean, right now, like I said, they've gone through the first 3 books so far because I've been kind of keeping track. And they've been doing a really good job adapting everything as well. It's been really, really well adapted. Because that was a lot of fans' worries was how are they going to adapt it? Are they going to cut any corners? They've cut a little bit out that I've noticed, but it's not anything too noticeable that it's going to like ruin it.
Yeah, it's just like
But
fluff type shit.
yeah, it's not anything crazy. And from what I'm seeing, the episode today added some things to it that wasn't in the original material. So definitely some good things with it. I think the studios in charge, I think it's A1 doing it, I believe. They're doing a really good job. So definitely hats off to them. More manga probably on the way now because these studios are seeing that these manga are definitely worth the risk because there was a lot of risk doing solo. There's a lot of politics and
Mm-hmm.
all types of shit I'm not even fully aware of with Japan and Korea that Solo
Yeah.
Leveling kind of sheds light on. And that was a lot of fans' worries was, are they even gonna do it? Are they gonna make Sun Jinwoo Japanese instead of Korean? Because Korean and Japan don't got good history together, but they kept it all the same, man.
Mm-hmm.
And later in the story, we'll start to see that those things that are said about Japan that Koreans think. So we'll see if they keep it in there or not.
As far as studios, I heard you brought that up. What's y'all's top, like, I say top three, because studios aren't too like known by people that are just now getting into animanga and stuff. But like, what are some studios you would love to see just like animate one of your newer like, say Gachi Akuda is about to get its anime adaptation. What studio do you hope is gonna be the one to animate something like that?
I mean, as far as my
Honestly,
favorites, you could go first, Tyler. Let me think of something to cook up.
honestly, I want to say Mappa because they do a great job animating any manga they touch. The only issue with that is if you know, they work a lot, they're not the best at treating their employees how they should. So, but they do a great job animating literally anything. I have zero complaints whenever I watch an anime from Mappa. They're always going to be top 2 on my list. Toei's up there too. I love Toei. Always love Toei. So I'd like to see them adapt really anything too.
Okay, solid list. Well,
Mappa's definitely got to be up there, man. Mappa's just, like he's already said enough about Mappa.
yeah,
I mean,
goats.
obviously, we want the best conditions for animators and those who work under directors, all that stuff. We want the best type of working conditions for them. So definitely sad news to hear about the stories that happen behind the scenes of our favorite animes when it comes to these studios. I mean, and obviously we heard about the Attack on Titan issues, JJK, just a lot of crunch I hear when it comes to Mappa, but obviously you want the best working conditions possible, but wouldn't be possible without said people doing what they do. I mean, Mappa's great. Honestly, man, Ufotable don't be getting the recognition they should get. I feel
Gas.
like people
They're solid.
Solid as hell, bro.
I
Yeah.
feel like people will say that I'm capped when I say that, but in my opinion, like the Fate series, man. I mean, everyone's gonna talk about Demon Slayer. We get it. Demon Slayer looks great,
I was just about to bring
but
it up.
the Fate series, bro, the Fate movies, all the Fate like individual animated series, Fate Stay Night, Fate Apocrypha, Fate Zero, Fate Grand, all that stuff. Insane animation. If you guys haven't watched the Heaven Feels movies, you don't really have to watch. The thing about Fate, you don't really have to watch all the Fates to understand what's going on because each Fate is like its own separate universe. I think really the only things that kind of connect and that I know of is Fate Zero and then Fate Stay Night because Fate Zero is a prequel to that.
So
But other
almost
than
like
that,
JoJo's then.
yeah, in a way. And Fate Heavens Feels, bro. Like you've probably seen clips. If I were to show you clips, you'd probably be like, "Oh, I've seen this before." Like, bro, the animation is insane. And I think who does is it A1 that does Sword Art Online or is it Matt? Oh no, I think it's Wit or is it Madhouse? I forgot who does Sword Art Online.
Ooh, the newer shit. Oh my gosh. He
Yeah, I
is not
forgot who
capping.
does Sword Art Online's. I'm looking it up right
Yeah, look
now.
that up. While he looks that up, one of mine that is close to my heart is for show Bones, because you know Soul Eater.
Ooh.
Soul Eater is one of the goated anime for me. Like, I think it was a time where I was like not really watching anime too much. We went to my godfather, my uncle, pretty much. We went to his house to stay while my parents had anniversary, and he gave me the entire box set of Soul Eater to just throw on and watch. And that in that 2 weeks, I think it took me like a week. I binge watched all of it because it was summer break, like all in one go. And then I realized they were the same studio that did Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and yeah,
Yes, sir.
just some goats. I know they do really well when they do pick up projects, especially with like choreography. Like the Soul Eater animation for the fights themselves were gas. And I know if they followed more with the manga, it'd be even more gas because more side characters would have got their shine and things like that. But they did an amazing job with the reboot of Full Metal. Definitely a
I,
cult classic. That shit's like still #1 on anime charts to this day.
that's probably my favorite anime of all time. Like I've watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood at least 3 or 4 times. I've read the Full Metal Alchemist manga from front to back, volume one all the way to I believe is like volume 30 something. I think there's like 30 something volumes of that. Um, oh no, I think it's 20 something volumes. But I have like the full box set of that. But I got a love hate relationship with Bones, man. Only reason I say that because they give us some great things, but what they do with My Hero Academia at times,
Tough,
it gotta be
tough, tough.
questioned, bro.
I agree.
Criminal.
They did Mob Psycho,
It's
right?
criminal. Yes, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, I
Yeah.
don't get it.
I got to tap in with Mob. Don't burn me at the stake, but I have not seen that shit yet. But I know it goes crazy. I just haven't tapped in. I just haven't had the time to like sit down and fully watch it. But
I'm
that's
in the
gonna
same boat,
change.
Dre.
That's gonna change soon. Oh, you
Mob
haven't seen
Psycho
it
is
either, Tyler?
Nah, I've seen like 1 or 2 episodes, but I haven't locked in like that. So I definitely got to tap in though.
I agree. I seen the clips, bro, and it be making me want to tap in right then and there. But then I'm like, I might as well just finish what I'm watching, and then I end up forgetting ultimately.
Mob is a very, very easy watch, bro. Only 3 seasons. The story is really, really good. Really interesting characters in it too. Like Mob is really good. Like that last season they just finished up last year. That shit was great. That may have been the best season out of all three, in my opinion. Because season two was really fucking good, but season three was just gas. Like just how they wrapped everything up. Mob's character, like it's very emotional, and like you just root for Mob so much. You just love Mob because Mob is just such a goat. But yeah, bro, y'all should definitely tap in with Mob. And for those who's listening that haven't tapped in with Mob or are curious about Mob, the person that created Mob Psycho was the same person that created One Punch Man. So the manga for Mob doesn't have the craziest art. I'll just let you know that now. So if you're debating on reading or watching it, I'll definitely say watch it because they bring that shit to fruition like amazingly. Like it's like night and day difference. Like the manga is still great for what it is. Like people love that. but the anime is definitely what you should prioritize if you're debating on getting into Mob for sure, because it's just such a great animation. Like Bones put everything into it, and that's why I don't get how they fumble with My Hero as much as they do, bro. Like, don't get me wrong, My Hero got crazy animation at times, and I know they spread their resources thin because they're doing movies on the side all the time while they're doing new seasons, which doesn't make sense to me. Like, they're doing it right now. They're doing a new movie and this final season at the same time, which doesn't make sense. Like, the war arc was like peak My Hero, bro.
Yeah, spreading
And
their
that shit
resources too
mid
thin.
as hell. That shit was so mid.
Oh, in
Very
the anime?
disappointing.
Yes, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
Season
I remember
4,
watching
5?
it. Because I know started reading it before I did, and I was watching it, and you said, "Bro, the war arc's about to go dummy." And then when we got to it, I was kind of just like underwhelmed, I guess you could say, when it come to the anime for My Hero.
Yeah, season 6. That's season 6. Yeah, bro. The war arc was just so disappointing. I mean, I think the second half of season 6 is better in terms of quality because like the things that people are looking forward to with this arc, obviously Deku versus Shigaraki versus all the heroes, just everything going on. And that shit in the manga was just insane. Like Horikoshi drew his ass off.
His
during
art
that
is
arc.
crazy.
Yeah, like when Horikoshi wants to get in his bag, he'll get in his bag.
Oh, I agree. Them panels of Deku when he was like, spoilers, when he was ducking the class. I don't know if that's still spoilers because the anime caught up, but when he was ducking the class and shit, he looked so dark. I think you had
Yeah.
said in the group chat you posted it. He was like, bro, was giving Batman vibes because he was like stalking over the city looking for the villains and shit. I thought it was hard as hell.
Yeah, bro, I was excited, and I didn't even really tap in with season 6 like that. Like I was watching a couple
I
episodes, but
still haven't.
overall, like, the quality just didn't hit. And what made it even worse, like the movie that they dropped, the World Hero Mission or whatever the hell it's called, that shit was mid. And I don't know if that's a hot take, but that shit was mid as hell.
Nah, it was for sure mid, bro. That's not a hot take at all.
Oh, bro.
I was not a fan. And I love the first 2 My Hero movies. Those were gas. And that third one was not it.
What was that third one about again? I'm trying to remember if I actually did watch it.
They go against that criminal organization that's about to like send out bombs everywhere. Zoro's voice actor is the dude Fleckturn. I think his name is Fleckturn. He has like the quirk where he can't be touched.
Oh no, I only seen the first two.
Deku gets
Then
posted for murder. He gets wanted for murder. He gets framed.
yeah, no, I didn't watch that one. I'm glad I didn't. I guess y'all said it was mid.
Well, they have some good fights in that movie. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, Bakugo's fight, I thought that was pretty tough.
Yeah, when he
That
fought
was
Bakugo's
the
cool.
twins.
they be going
I mean, just that
stupid on
ending scene in
Bakugo's
general
fights in
was
general,
gas. Like,
bro.
Facts.
Todoroki's scene was tough against that monster. That shit was gas. And
Yeah.
then Bakugo versus those twin quirk users, and then Deku versus Fleckturn was gas, where he used the United States of World Smash. That shit was gas. But everything leading up to that is literally just a road trip with the movie character that they introduced. I think his name is Rhodey, and Deku just on the run. So I don't know.
I kind
I don't
of
know.
want to from here transition into what y'all think for anime of the year, bro. What were let me pull up the candidates and then we can talk about that too. Cause
Yeah, let me hear the candidates.
Like as far as Crunchyroll,
yeah. Well, it's for last year, right? For 2023.
yeah, it just came out.
JJK.
It is on there. So I think
I got
there's
it.
a lot of
Ooh,
nominees, but I
actually,
forgot what was actually in the category. I remember it being JJK,
So
Attack on
anime of the
Titan.
year, I got it pulled up here.
Okay,
Anime of
okay.
the year was JJK. Best original anime was Buddy Daddies. Best character design went to the JJK crew. Best animation went to Demon Slayer Swordsmith Village arc.
So on that note, though, what do you think should have? Because I know a lot of people are starting to ride the hate train of JJK. People are thinking it's getting too popular. People are like, oh, it's overrated. Like especially if you read the manga now, which I just tend to disagree. People are mad about the Gojo stuff. Spoilers. I didn't say anything, but just in case we do say anything, spoilers. So, what are y'all's thoughts? What do you think should have won it last year over that?
I don't
Honestly,
really. I mean, the only other thing I could think of that should have got it possibly was Vinland Saga
I was
season
just
2.
about to say, man, that was my only
okay.
top pick to, if anything, beat JJK because of like they went in on the animation, they went in on bringing the moments to life, I guess, for the second season.
Yeah,
Vinland Saga hit me a different way, bro. Vinland Saga, the switch up with Thorfinn. Like obviously,
it
if
was
you watched
definitely
season
tough.
one, you knew it was a prologue, but I didn't know. I didn't read Vinland Saga, so I didn't know what to think going into second season.
Oh
And
yeah, you got to read that, man. You got to
bro, the
read that.
first thing I seen is Thorfinn's a Thorfinn's a bitch. He's not doing well. Like, what is his character? And I go into watching, and I'm like, what are they talking about? Just because he's not killing people, like,
Some of the
like,
best arcs in
oh my
manga are
god.
farm arcs, man. Vagabond is a prime example. Vinland Saga is another prime example. Both of those mangas have a arc prioritized and focused on their main character on a
And
farm,
growth.
and it gives them character growth. It changes their mindset. It just really makes you think about humanity in a different way
Hmm.
than just hacking and slashing and killing. Because I mean, when you think of the big three in shonen, obviously you're like Bleach, One Piece, Naruto.
Yeah.
Big three in seinen, Berserk, Vagabond, Vinland Saga, easily,
Facts.
easily, easily, and that's been known forever. So
Yeah.
definitely, I mean, I definitely saw the same thing, and I knew how people were gonna interpret it because season one, I mean, you got young Thorfinn, hateful, vengeful, just a revenge tour, just trying to get revenge for his father. For those who haven't tapped in with it by now, I don't know what you've been doing, but definitely do by now because you're asleep. But season one, lots of violence, lots of bloodshed, and not to say that season two doesn't have those things at times, but it grounds Thorfinn's character in a way that you really wouldn't have expected. Because you really got to think about it. After what happened in season one, for those that know, what is next for a character like that? Put yourself in his shoes.
Mm-hmm.
What is next for you if that
It's,
were to happen to you?
I think people forgot that it was a seinen too. So like, he's not gonna. People are expecting that typical shonen, like he's gonna get his like his ultimate revenge or whatever. He's gonna get the ultimate fight. They're gonna keep going to wars until he becomes. I guess they were thinking that he's gonna become like his father through battle instead of actually just sitting down and learning some shit. But
Yeah,
that's why that season resonated with me the most is because you sit there and you actually grow with him. You see this little nigga, and it's actually sad to see his journey through season one. I don't know if y'all got that feel, but like seeing him in between and the way he viewed Askeladd and shit, it just it
Mhm.
kind of hurt my heart, especially with his dad and everything. I don't want to speak too much on it and spoil, but I just want to speak about it and seeing him in that character growth and actual character growth with side characters that are actually growing with him, that was a big change and that was a big pusher for me. I
exactly.
would have voted for sure. I don't think I did vote this year, but I would have for sure voted for
Oh, yeah,
Vinland
I
Saga
definitely
season
voted
2.
this year. I definitely voted.
Would you vote
One
for?
thing I voted for JJK only
Okay.
because JJK was just amazing. I mean, no one
Yeah.
can really argue against that. It's crazy that we're talking about Vinland because I had just went and like rewatched the final sequences of season one. It just
Mm.
popped up on my recommended on YouTube. And like remember, he was asked even at that point during that last episode, they looked at Thorfinn and they asked him, what are you planning to do with your life after this?
Facts.
Like your life is so just narrow sighted on just one thing that you haven't even really thought about how you truly want to live your life. And that shit is crazy because like you could see it in Thorfinn's eyes, like, damn, like I've literally wasted the first however many years of my life. I think he was like what, like 13 in the
Mm-hmm.
first part of Vinland Saga, something like
Okay.
that.
Not one of those days did we get shown he was thinking about his family either. That was the sad part for me.
Mm.
He literally got taken from that village and he's basically growing up on his own without learning any other skill other than to kill people.
I
Yeah.
guess he was 16 in the first season, I guess.
Yeah, towards the
Um,
very end.
Yeah, he was 16. He was a teenager. But yeah, bro, like you can literally see it in his face because like that's really some shit. Like, yes, you want to get revenge for what happened to you in the past, and that's all you're focused on. But once you do achieve that goal one way or another, what is your move after that? And that's really like the crazy part about that. And the manga, bro, is so gas because it shows you, like, you see how he's built himself back up, like, told himself that he's not going to do these things and not going to act on violence and things like in that regard anymore going forward like he used to, and that he wants to live for others and like make his father proud because that's not his fight.
Mm-hmm.
His fight is fulfilling his father's wishes and living peacefully and protecting others and living for others. And you're starting to really see that, like, he really becomes his father, like another version of his father, a miniature version of his father throughout the manga. And like to the point now where he finally does reach the goal that he had set for himself, and he's establishing his new life with said goal. Like, it's just crazy, like the obstacles that he come across and
Mm-hmm.
all types of shit, bro. Like, it's just crazy, bro. Just like I was saying with Mob, like, you just root for Thorfinn because it's like a complete
You
overhaul of
have
a
to.
character. Like, it's a complete overhaul of a character. Like, we don't really see that often in these types of like series, and that's why Seinen is so gas, bro.
Mm-hmm. I want to
Like,
give
it's just so
the stage to Tyler though. I want to hear from him as well. What would you have voted for anime of the year? Would you have agreed with everybody with JJK, or would you have picked something else? Doesn't have to be Vinland or anything, but what resonated with you last year?
I mean, yeah, I'd still probably pick JJK just because even though I read the manga, watching it weekly made me feel like I didn't even read the manga. You know, it was still like a brand new experience for me. The studio obviously did a great job animating it. The voice actors went crazy, and you know, the whole Shibuya incident, the Shibuya arc, was just a great arc in the manga, and they did just as well in the anime. So I had a great experience watching that, and especially seeing, you know, what Yuji went through in the anime and hearing his voice actor, like you could really hear the pain and suffering that he experienced and he saw when Sukuna took over his body and was just wreaking havoc all over the town, you know. So I would have voted for that for sure.
I mean, we the readers, we knew. I was telling people, bro, I was like, bro, just wait till Shibuya season 1 got animated, and people were like, I mean, it was all right. That's literally what people told me, like to my face. I'm like, bro, it was all right. You're right. Nothing really happened that was too crazy in season 1. You got to see characters and see different shit, but season 2, man, Shibuya is gonna be that shit, and they
Straight
delivered,
turn
bro.
up.
They delivered straight turn up.
And it's only gonna get
would
crazier from here too.
Oh man,
would you
oh
say
man.
that this is a situation where the anime enhanced the manga in a way? Because a lot of people will
Um,
always go back to the
100%, I think
manga.
so.
for the 100%, because even with the Toto stuff, I seen people's reactions on TikTok of the when he came back and when he spoilers. If you haven't seen season 2, go watch. Stop the podcast. Go watch that shit right now. Come back. But when his arm got cut off, and you think you're sitting there like, oh, is Toto dead? Like, is it wrapped for this nigga? His necklace falls, and usually when that happens, it's like
Mhm.
it's a representation that someone's dying. That shit
Yeah.
opened up, and it turned into an entirely different episode, and it just turned up. I literally yelled at my monitor watching that episode. I was like, oh shit, yeah, they did this justice, man. It felt great.
That was
Yeah,
definitely
that was awesome.
gas. That was definitely gas. I mean, JJK is just in a good spot. I mean, we could talk about the manga obviously another day because that'll just go down a whole different
Mhm.
conversation. But
We can talk about that all day, yeah.
Literally
oh
all
god.
day.
But I mean, we're going through the fall anime season retrospective, obviously. So looking ahead, we got the winter slate is obviously coming to a close. A lot of these newer series are coming to an end. I want to tap in with Fearing. I forgot what it's
Oh,
called.
I've been
Fearing
hearing stuff. I've
Beyond.
been hearing stuff.
Yeah, I hear that's a really good one, man. I hear that that's another grounded one.
I've
What's the
heard it's
premise of that?
another some mage. That's all I know. I've been hearing it's
Yeah,
kind of sleeper, kind of like how Shangri-La has been, where people are like,
Okay.
"Oh shit!" And I've seen clips. I've seen like 1 or 2 clips. The animation is up there.
yeah. I know Clash of the Elite. I still haven't tapped in with that, but I know that's still going. Matchell's coming to an end. Fearing Beyond Journey's End. So yeah, like you said, it's a mage anime. It's like a D&D type. I heard it's one of like the better D&D type animes when it has like the
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. because she's like in like a. It's not like a. I don't think it's a game one. I think it's like actual like that's their life.
It's just fantasy. It's like the
Yeah, it's like a really good fantasy one. I know that's coming to an end soon. The Apothecary Diaries. I hear that's another good one. It's like a mystery type John.
okay.
Um, this like what is she considered? She's like a servant in a palace, and she pretty much solves mysteries with stuff going on there. So it's I think it's like political, I believe,
Mhm.
and like it's like
Okay.
mystery solving and stuff like that. But I hear that's also really good. I hear people have really been enjoying that. But we got a lot of good stuff coming.
Oh,
One
spring's gonna
Punch
be
Man
stacked.
season 3 got announced. We're getting Kaiju number 8 soon.
Yes,
Fairy Tail
sir.
Complete Quest anime on the way.
Demon Slayer,
A lot of
the
good stuff.
Hashira training arc.
Yep, Demon Slayer's on the way back. Hell's Paradise should be back soon. So a lot of good stuff coming for the rest of the year. As far as the summer, though, I know it's really going to be Kaiju, Fairy Tail, and I believe One Punch Man should be there as well around that
Well,
time. And of course, My Hero's coming back
I
too.
love
Yep.
Kaiju, bro. Kaiju is
Kaiju's some gas.
it's such a good read too. I read that so fast.
Kaiju is definitely gas, and that's actually coming to an end in the manga for those that read that as well. So definitely hyped to see how that all comes to a close there. But the anime should definitely shed more light on that for people to hop onto the manga as well. But it
Facts.
looks like the animations are going to go dummy on that for what I've been
It does
seeing.
look good. It does look good for sure.
Character designs kind of threw me off at first. I know I was sending that shit to you, Tyler, and I was sending that to Dre too. And I was kind of like,
For which
Kafka
one?
looks a little weird for Kaiju when they were dropping the
Oh,
character models.
yeah.
Yeah, they kind of looked a little off, but I think in motion, like they're going for that simpler design, and that
Yeah.
works.
We're seeing
Like
it with
that
One
does
Piece,
work.
bro. They got from Wano to now. It went from like hyper colorized. Like I don't know how to explain it. It was like very vibrant in color and went lighter palette, a little bit simpler
Mhm.
design, but that allowed them to do a lot more crazy shit. Like the
Right.
law versus Blackbeard shit, insane.
That was crazy. Yeah, 100%. They've been going stupid in Egghead with the colors and
Facts, bro.
the different art style. I love it. I've been liking it a lot.
Yeah, I just need them to figure out this hockey situation, man.
Mhm.
Because I was watching Brago, man. Big fan of Brago stuff. BDA Law on YouTube. Was big fan of his stuff. Was watching him interview the animator Vincent. I forgot his last name, but he's like really,
It's
really
Oh,
good.
the
Chansard or
goat.
something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Vincent Chassard. Yeah, I was watching him talk with him and do a little interview with him, and half the time they don't even really be knowing like what they're doing with the hockey from what he's saying. Like I don't want to put words in his mouth, obviously, but it didn't seem like he really understood like what he was given. He's just like, okay, this is red hockey, but red hockey signifies
Oh,
conquerors a lot of the time. So I don't know. You know, the fans are gonna go in an uproar online, which they always do when they saw
Yeah.
Blackbeard and Law
yeah.
emitting red hockey, like, oh, Law got conquerors. I mean, obviously it's implied Blackbeard will have it. I'm on the side of I can see him having it or not having it.
And I'd be
I
okay
want
with
him to
both.
have a yeah, obviously spoilers for One Piece if you're not caught up, but I want Blackbeard to have 3 fruits. That's not a spoiler, that's just a theory. But I want him to have 3 fruits. That's a theory that's been going around. But I would also be fine with him having the 2 fruits plus conquerors and just being broken and busted that way. But yeah, they just need to. That's just been one thing that's kind of been nitpicky with me. I'm not really too big on the auras. I understand why they do the auras,
Mhm.
but you know,
I mean, I don't
it just
blame them
adds.
though, because like the way Oda be drawing some shit, he'll draw lightning and people be like, Conquerors? Like Nami will slap
Facts.
Luffy and then lightning will pop up and they be like, Nami has conquerors. And there's like a whole theory about how Nami actually has conquerors secretly
Yeah, bro.
type shit.
That
So
it
it's like,
happens in the manga too. You're right.
yeah.
It definitely happens in the
So
manga
I
too.
think if Oda could like write notes on it and like give it to him, because a lot of power scales are taking that shit and running with it. They're like, oh shit, so and so has hockey. They can now beat your favorite character or some shit or like conquerors. And it's like, well, I mean, I don't think we got that vibe from because even isn't Zoro's conquerors? I think they drew Big Mom's is purple, Zoro's is green, Luffy's usually is red, and like same with Kaido, but like we don't really even know because of the loose translation between them and Oda. what's what
See, I
and
was
what
I
we're
was really
seeing.
just hoping they would just go just the traditional route. Like we got the Whitebeard and Roger fight in the Odin
Yeah,
flashback, and I was really hoping that they would go with that
and everything just be
kind of
red.
style. Yeah, just traditional, just hockey clashes, you know. But I'm not upset. Like Onigashima and Roof Piece was just such a big event, so I'm not upset that they wanted to just go all out, like just everything they can
over
do
the top.
over
Yeah.
the top, literally over the top. But don't want to get into too much spoilers for that because I know a lot of people aren't caught up in One Piece.
Oh,
But
soon we will be doing. I mean, obviously the episode will have spoilers in it, because we'll be trying to do like I want to do weekly readings. I think reading together would be kind of fun, and like
facts,
doing a whole
That would be
little
dope.
yeah facts, bro.
Yeah.
I think a whole introspection while we're reading, like we can stop, we can read a couple pages together, stop, and then like talk about it. Like so, we can definitely go more in depth on One Piece in the future, and we definitely plan on doing that.
facts. I know
Like a
Terry
live
probably
chapter review type deal. That'd be
Facts,
dope.
facts.
facts, facts. Well, don't want to change the shift of the tone here, but do want to address some because I feel like it just has to be discussed. We are, I mean, if you haven't heard, it's been everywhere. I mean, I doubt there isn't anyone who hasn't heard of it. Akira Toriyama has passed away. More information has came out. I guess he did have a brain tumor, from what I'm hearing from his assistant.
Oh wow.
Um, so he's been dealing with that for since 2023. So
Damn.
I'm sure everything has been kind of getting planned out for this to happen. So kind of a shock to me personally. I mean, Tyler's the one that told me. I mean, we were just talking about it. Dragon Ball is what really got me into this to begin with. So it's
Yes.
definitely a shock to me. Definitely a little worried about the state of that going forward. And that's what I kind of want to talk about is how do you guys feel about the said situation and how are we feeling about the future of Dragon Ball at this point?
Tyler, I'll let you go ahead because you haven't really talked too much.
I mean, honestly, rest in peace to the GOAT, obviously. We all, when we were younger, grew up watching Dragon Ball. That was one of our main staples, one of the main reasons we all got into anime in the first place.
I remember
You
still
know,
going Super Saiyan 2 in the backyard with my brother, and
man, what?
different, bro. It was different.
Bro, it was a whole different era back then. And, Toriyama inspired a whole new generation of mangakas, anime, and manga series to come out that, we enjoy to this day that we love reading. So, in terms of what's going to happen in the future with Dragon Ball Super, the new show that just got announced like a few months ago, a couple months ago, I think Toyotaro is going to do a good job handling Super from here on out.
Mhm.
Like you said, Will, I'm sure, him and Toriyama had discussions about if this is a possibility, this is what I have planned for the future, and you can kind of just build off of that. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's in good hands. I trust Toyotaro, and I don't know. We just have to see for the future, honestly.
So for me, I'm actually on the opposite end of the spectrum, I guess, from Will. I'm not too worried really, because for me, the impression was that pretty much since Super, I feel like Toyotaro has been in control of that shit.
Yeah.
I think Toriyama has been more sick than people have known because they've kept it under wraps for so long. And I think Toyotaro is just getting notes here and there from Toriyama, and has just been, in my opinion, I don't think he's been doing a bad job, especially with how we finally are getting that scaling of Gohan. If you guys are keeping up with the manga now, we got Broly back. He's been written well, like especially better than what he was in the movies, and really designs have been coming through. We got an entire different form for Goku and Vegeta. It's not the same shit. Like they have the same power up, and they're mirroring each other. As far as the story, I really think we're in a good spot now with what we just got in the last chapter leaks. But yeah, rip the goat, bro. I couldn't imagine my life being any different, like not watching that shit. If I don't know how,
Mhm.
like especially with different anime, like how different would have Naruto been if he didn't get that KCM2 form? How different would most characters powering up be in anime. Would that even be a trope if Dragon Ball didn't do the things that it did in terms of popularity? And it can't go unnoticed. It can't go unfelt. I kind of felt empty. I was literally streaming. I was playing Armored Core 6, and a viewer had said, "Bro, did you hear?" And I'm like, "Hear what?" They're like, "Toriyama." I'm like, "Don't tell me, bro." At age 68, young. If you know the human lifespan, it is not supposed to be at 60 years that you're out of this. Like, we've gotten up, we've got better technology, and to see such a young man go so early with such a impact on society as a whole. Like, you see early internet clips of niggas going Super Saiyan 1 and Super Saiyan 2 on the internet. Every game you've played has a transformation. Even niggas touch comic book characters. I feel like there's comic book characters nowadays that they have some type of power up. Like, from Superman to freaking Spider-Man, you see somebody or some variation of that character going into some power up similar to what Goku has done. And it's
Yeah.
it's just a big loss generationally, but I do think Toyotaro is gonna do his thing and keep that shit going.
Yeah, there's no one else who can do it besides him. I mean, I don't know if you guys know about Dragon Ball AF, the fan manga that Toriyama did before he got brought on to Toriyama's team, like with
Oh no, I
Zycor and all
didn't.
that stuff. Like, it's like a fan manga. I think Super Saiyan 5 and all that stuff was in it, if I remember right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's where that
Like,
shit came from.
yeah. So I mean, there's definitely no better person to do it. It's crazy you're saying like people online doing that. I remember that video. He literally brought up a fucking memory in my head. Like, that nigga. I don't know if you guys remember this video. That dude going Super Saiyan. He's like, I'm gonna attempt to go Super Saiyan, and he's like
Yeah.
screaming for like 3
Nah, I
minutes.
seen that. Yeah.
I think post edit I could put a clip of that shit. That shit has me weak every time I see
Yeah,
it, bro.
bro. He's like, my name is whatever, and I am a Super Saiyan. Like, that shit was comedy back in the day.
Hella
But
dramatic, bro. He was comedy for sure.
Bro, I don't
but I
know
mean,
if y'all have siblings. Y'all ever got into a fight with your siblings and like subconsciously, like my brother used to do it, funniest shit in the world. I think I did it a couple of times, like super young. You sit there and yell as if you're getting more power, and you kind of just like you're yelling and you're just like powering up. You feel like you're stronger, but literally nothing has happened. But like we would literally get into fights and accidentally do some stupid shit like that. And I don't know, bro. If we didn't have any of that, life would be completely different. I'd probably be on a different trajectory. Probably would still be a nerd gaming, but I don't know how deep into anime I would have been.
Facts. That's valid.
as crazy as the debate was around the time of Gear 5 getting conceptualized in the manga and then premiering in the anime, like, I'm glad that debate that was just lingering for weeks and months on end is finally done. And we can finally, as a collective, just sit back and just appreciate it. Like, yes, there would not be a Gear 5 without a Super Saiyan. Yes, there would not be
Facts.
Super Sonic without a Super Saiyan. There wouldn't
Mhm.
be Naruto's Kyuubi modes or a Sage mode, Sage of Six Paths mode without a Super Saiyan.
Spirit gun, nigga, Kamehameha. Like, oh, there's so much shit, man.
Like, even in modern cartoons on Cartoon Network, Kids Next Door, Gumball,
Yes, I was gonna
Gumball,
bring that
bro,
up.
Gumball, yeah.
like all these things growing up, man. Even Nickelodeon, bro, like Fairly Odd Parents, like there wouldn't be all these references. Like Toriyama was universal, like you were saying, man. And the reason why, like, it kind of scares me because, like, I feel like Dragon Ball is really going through a revitalization because obviously the manga has been going on and
Mm-hmm.
people have been begging and begging for the anime to come back because they want to see the Mora art, they want to see the Granola art, they want to see Black Frieza and all these different things happening. But for whatever reason, they decided to focus on Daima, which is it's fine. I mean, at first I wasn't too, enthused. I was definitely a person that wanted to get the super anime back, but Dragon Ball anime in general was better than nothing. Um, and I just feel like I was saying, it was going through a period where I feel like it was about to really just gain its ground again because we're getting Sparking Zero. The mobile games are doing good from what I'm hearing. Fighters got the update, but it's not doing that good still. But that's my personal opinion.
2 years too late, bro.
Very late. Breakers got their update. Zamasu, Goku Black, Merge Zamasu. It looks decent for what it was. It looks a lot better than the state it was in when it first came out, and it definitely looks interesting for fans of that Dead by Daylight type genre. Kakarot got its last update. That looks pretty sick. The end of Z update with Goku and all that shit. Like, so like I feel like Dragon Ball's been in a good period, and obviously the superhero movie just came out. That was a good movie. I fucked with it. So, and like Toriyama was so hands-on with the manga. Like, yeah, Torotaro draws everything, but Toriyama's the
That's
one
true.
that kind of gives him the path of like what to do. So that's why I'm like
It's still his
hoping
story.
exactly. Yeah, it's still his thing. So like I'm hoping that it's kind of like a Berserk type situation where just like with Berserk and the Death of Kintaro, he gave everything that he needed to I forgot the person who's in charge of it now. Miori, I
Uh,
believe, is his name.
yeah, his best friend,
Um,
and I think his wife overlooks it too, right?
yeah, I think it is Miori now. That's in charge of it.
Or not best
But
friend, close friend, I should say.
yeah, and I'm hoping that it's a situation similar to that where they had a conversation, they knew that this was happening, and he pretty much broke down the
But
route he wants the
yeah,
story to take. Because I mean, to be completely honest with you, there's not much they can really fit in until the end of Z comes around.
I was gonna
I
say,
know,
because doesn't it still wrap around to Oob and Goku fighting at the end?
yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, Pan is already not an adolescent, but she's a toddler. Goten and Trunks are older now, so there's definitely not much left to do before they get to that next Tenkaichi tournament where the end of Z left off.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know people want to see like what's going on with Frieza going forward, and I'm definitely one of those people as well.
Yeah.
Um,
What is he doing, man?
exactly.
Frieza
So,
Black, man.
He beat the racist allegations.
Hell nah, he got worse.
oh, Mori Koji, that's who's in charge of Berserk now. Mori Koji and Studio Gaga. That's right. So, like, I'm hoping that it's a situation like that where Toritaro and Toriyama sat down together and was like, "Look, there's no one else that can do this but you. I trust you with this. Finish it off for me." And I mean, I hope that Toei and
Oh, ooh, I forgot about.
all these Bandai, Namco, and all these studios that incorporate themselves with Dragon Ball with all the different segments of the
Games.
media, the video games and the mobile games and all that stuff, the movies especially, like they do it just as if they continue to do it. And I feel like they can because it's Dragon Ball. It's not like it's something else that they can just kind of slander, and kind of half-ass. Like they
Mm-hmm.
know Dragon Ball is universal. Like One Piece is big, but Dragon Ball is the biggest. You know what I mean?
And it's
So
relatively, it's not a crazy intuitive. I think what they need to nail, because right now we're just getting shit to fill in until that, like you said, that last Tenkaichi tournament where he's fighting Oob at the end.
yeah,
So it really could go anywhere, but I do agree. I do hope Toriyama did leave hella notes and we don't get like like a crazy spin off crazy because you know what they'll do. Like, I mean, we're getting it now with the newer Dragon Ball series. I was very surprised. I thought the announcement was gonna be super. Not gonna lie,
I
the
wish it
next
was,
I
man.
thought it was gonna be more arc animated, and it wasn't. I mean, I love Dragon Ball. I hope this new one isn't like too crazy off the rails, but I can see the worry now after having the discussion. Now I'm getting the insight on like what could go wrong.
yeah. I mean, just gotta stay positive. I mean, we
Facts.
didn't think Berserk would be in the state that it's in now, and it's back, and it's honestly doesn't really feel like anything's really changed. The art style's changed a little bit, but it's still very good art. Studio Gaga is doing what they got to do to keep up with what Kintaro's vision was, and I'm excited to see what this new arc holds after Elfheim ended.
Are
So
we
that's
is was I tripping? Are we getting an anime adaptation of Berserk
no,
or
that
was
thing that
that
I sent you, that's a fan anime. So that's
okay,
something that
okay.
that person has been working on, and it's been very hyped up. So I'm very interested to see what
Might
comes of
still
it.
watch to be honest.
I know you had said earlier, like, what studio would we want to get like an adaptation from? Mappa doing
I
Berserk.
was about to say Mappa because they did
That would go
good.
crazy.
The way they did Chainsaw, great read too. By the way, y'all go watch. No spoilers here. I'm just gonna be talking about how well they adapted everything when it comes to Chainsaw, and I would hope like we have a lot of chapters. There's like what 6? No, like there's like no, I don't even know. It's been a minute since I finished Berserk. It's like what 3 something or 6 something chapters.
There's
600.
375
Okay, so
chapters of Berserk.
they have enough material to do like a seasonal anime. If they wanted to do a seasonal anime, and because of how slow we're getting chapters, they do it, break it up, make it a seasonal anime, maybe a movie here in between or something for like the golden age. And I think they can honestly, speaking money wise, they can actually milk it and wait until we keep getting chapters up until the end of Berserk. And if they have to stop, the reason you make it a seasonal is you catch up to the manga, you stop and wait till the manga releases more. We get more chapters, deeper chapters. I think 100% they could probably do a 24 episode series just on the Golden Age. So
I mean, did you see the they just did a serialization from the Golden Age movies. They remastered it and turned them into episodes. I think it was last year, the year before.
no,
So
I
you
On
don't
what?
even have to.
I've never seen any of the older because my only interaction with the Berserk anime was the newer one, the CGI shit, and I wasn't fucking with it. I haven't watched any of the 1990 anime. I know they're goated, and I've heard they're really good with like the Golden Age and all that other shit. But I haven't even
Nah,
seen the
you need to
movies
go
either.
peep the Golden Age Memorial Edition. So how I got introduced to Berserk was through our homie Scully. You remember the 3 movies they made for the Golden Age arc? They made like 3 movies, separate movies with like modern animation, and they're like
Mm,
fire, very fire. They're
I'm
missing a
definitely
couple
tapping in
things,
then.
but overall they're pretty fire. They remastered them and they serialized them into 13 episodes instead, and they put it out, I believe, 2023,
On
2022.
what platform?
It's all on Crunchyroll. Just type in Berserk
Oh, it's
and
on
you'll
Crunch.
see.
Oh, say
Yeah,
less.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that
yeah,
either, bro. They didn't post it anywhere.
yeah. It was. I mean, it's already been out. Like you can just watch the movies,
Say
but the
less.
anime they just released this, so they don't even have to even revisit the Golden Age anymore. They can just go straight to the Black Swordsman arc, which is what people have been wanting. But the thing with Berserk, I mean, I've been on a deep dive going in the rabbit holes on why Berserk isn't going to get animated. And the thing is, for one, they can't broadcast that in Japan on any type of time slot because you know how Berserk is. It's super grotesque at times.
Oh,
Yep.
dang. I didn't even
Very.
think about that. You're right.
Yeah, they
Even
can't.
here,
I mean,
it'd be hard to
and
get it here too.
exactly. And Mappa already has their hands clean or clean. Mappa
Well,
already has their hands full with shit that they're doing right now. So for them to give it to a proper studio that's gonna give it justice is very, very questionable
that is,
because you
bro, I'm
can't cut
thinking about the
corners.
troll arc and shit. I'm like, yeah, I don't know how they would animate
Mm,
that without. I mean, they can do like what they did with Goblin Slayer and still do it well. Like, have it happening, but don't specifically show it type shit. And I think that's
Exactly.
the route they would go if they did do it. But you're right; it's hard to get that time slot even in Japan, and it's probably even worse here unless they
And
only
even
strictly
if they
do
wanted to do
Adult
like a
Swim.
strictly streaming option, they probably wouldn't even make the money that they'd want for the type of resources they'd
Yeah,
have to put into it either.
it'd
So
be hard to
I would.
advertise for Crunchyroll if they tried to like put that on their platform too. At
like it
least in
would
my
definitely get
opinion.
traction, but it would just be either A, the fans would be outraged because they're cutting corners and it
Mm.
doesn't look the way they want it to look. Because you would have to just really just make it look exactly how it looks. Because Berserk is the type of thing where you really can't cut corners at all.
I mean, with movie though, like say we got movie adaptations instead, like how well you think they could do like an entire arc into a movie or like half an arc into a movie? They could
Shit,
probably
I'd be
do a
okay
whole
with
arc
that.
into a movie because I mean, movies could be as grotesque as they want, right? Like obviously,
Yeah,
I would still go down the route of have it happen, but don't show the shit, or even just skip over like the pretty grotesque parts, like the troll arc. But I could see even I mean, I think that would do really well as like a movie. I think that'd be a great middle ground for them. I'm just
No,
thinking
as a
like that's
Berserk
like a
fan, I'd
free
want it
gold,
all,
man.
man.
I would want it all too. I would want a show. I wouldn't want just a movie because then we'd be waiting years between anyway.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I would
just the
prefer episodes
production.
over movies too.
Exactly. And I mean, just the production of the manga. We haven't had a new chapter since November. So Studio Gaga has definitely taken their time making sure that
It's done
it
right.
looks the way it needs to look. And Mori's art has been evolving. Like from the moment that he stepped in when Kentaro died till now, like you can see an obvious difference in, if you're caught up at least, in his art direction.
Yeah,
So
you can see it kind of. It was like it was a little sketchy to me. Like from when I heard, because I'm newer to Berserk. Probably just about the same time I started One Piece, to be honest. So I remember when hearing the news, I was like, "Damn, it's gonna be crazy when I finally catch up." And then when I finally caught up, I literally went from one chapter to the next, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is when he passed." And you can like tell it, but it wasn't like extremely bad to the point where I'm like, "Oh, what is this shit?"
yeah, I can't wait, man. Tyler, I need you to catch up, bro. You're bullshitting.
Dude,
I know. I've
Where
been
are you?
bullshitting. I'm on the last chapter I read was 213.
Oh my god.
So I got a good bit to catch up on for sure. He's been
150
harping on me.
chapters behind.
Yeah.
Dude, let me see where 215 is. I gotta see. I guess we don't have to talk about it because of these spoilers. But man, dude, that when I tell you I was hitting the chat every fucking day reading that shit, I know they got tired of me. I was sending panels in.
I don't know, bro. I could talk Berserk all fucking day, man.
That
All
dude,
fucking day.
the like slight humor, like it's a dark ass story, and then you get Puck. Puck was probably
I
one of my
love
favorite
Puck,
parts,
bro.
dude. I love Puck with all my heart, bro.
Nah, Berserk's top three, bro. One Piece, Berserk, and Full Metal are my top three. Like
Mhm.
no
Dre,
order.
where do you read Berserk right now? Do you have Manga Man?
Nah, I mean, a little birdie told me a website, but
You
you
might
know,
have to slide that link,
I
bro.
could definitely slide you that. I don't want to say it out loud, get us doxxed on the internet, but you
No,
know,
you're good.
definitely can send you that link, bro. Because when I tell you, I was literally at work. I was in Florida at this time. I was working at a resort. I was a bellman between helping customers get to their rooms and stuff. Especially it started dying out after summer. I was reading
Hmm.
Berserk every single day at work. It was
That's
one of the
fire.
best reads to just get invested into. I mean, you're 200 chapters in, you already know. So
I mean, one of the main reasons why I just stopped reading it was because the app I was using, it
yeah,
offloaded off my phone and it got deleted from the app store, so I couldn't re-download it.
um,
So I was cooked. And then Will over here just rubbing it in my face because he still got it.
yeah,
Oh
bro.
God, I'm never selling this iPhone 12,
I
nigga. You're
remember
gonna be
hitting them
fucked
up
up.
because I think around Berserk was when I started for real reading. Well, no, I lied. Fire Force. I watched Fire Force, and that was what set me off on my manga journey. Because I'm a big
Okay.
Soul Eater, and that learning that connected to Fire Force, I was like, bro, I gotta read this shit. Started reading that, and then I hit up Will. I was like, yo, where can I read like Berserk? Where can I start this shit? And then he started gloating about manga, man. I was like, ah, fuck you. So I found my own
Yeah.
little website, started reading on there, and it was history from there. That was like the whole manga journey. I'd say I'm like only a year or two into actually reading manga. I used to be anime only.
Damn, that's what's up though. At least you're tapping in for
Yeah,
real.
facts.
God, bro. Oh God, just as long as you're just appreciating and you're tapped in, bro. Like you said, it's a completely different experience than anime, man. Like
Hmm.
it's
It
literally
is.
the
Even Fire
it's
Force, bro.
literally the blueprint. It's the blueprint for anime. Like
Hmm.
there is no
Mhm.
anime without manga. Yes, there's anime original series without a manga, but a lot of these series that you fuck with have a manga.
Yeah, I have a big appreciation for art. So like seeing when I was reading Fire Force and seeing the panels, and then I went to read Berserk, seeing, oh my god, seeing how those panels came out and seeing the level of detail, and you got to see this man grow with his art too. Like shit started getting more gritty, started seeing lines and stuff being more perfected, and it's different when it's animated in your head at your own pace too, and you're actually reading it.
Yeah.
I think the worst like the only leg up to me that anime really has over manga these days is the fact that it's voice acted. The voice acting does put anime a little bit above for me. I'll probably still always be an anime guy just because of like, I mean, obviously you get to see your favorite panels animated and everything, and that's great to see, but it's just something about sitting down and reading that shit and you're like losing. I read like, I want to say a couple chapters within the 30 minutes, and I was like, damn, I just read that much just sitting down, and I forgot I was even reading.
Time be flying for sure if you're reading a good manga that you're enjoying. Time will fly.
Yeah, man. I covered 100 chapters of Overgeared, and I'm not even close to caught up yet, but I've covered like 100 chapters of Overgeared in like a week and a half.
Damn.
Like, it's just when you find that one, you find that one, man.
That's how it was with Gachi Akuda, bro. I got into the power system. I'm like, yo, this is kind of dope. Like, you have this artifact and you kind of imbue it. You make it, whether it's trash or not, you imbue it with your own power and it does its own specific thing. It was giving me like that Fire Force. Everything's based off fire, but everyone has a unique fire ability. And just that alone, I started digging in, and you start reading, you start appreciating the art style, and you start flipping the page. You're like, yo, I got to keep going. And then the worst thing with reading manga is once you get to that end chapter, like for me this week with One Piece 11:10, got to the end, I'm like, no, man, where's the next chapter? Where's the next page, bro?
Man.
Yeah, catching up is definitely a somber feeling.
It's a
reading
great
any
yet
manga
somber
weekly
feeling.
is tough.
It is.
Yeah, them break weeks be killer, man. But talking about Fire Force, man, I mean, where's season 3? Shouldn't season 3 be on the way soon? Like they're at a really good point in the anime now.
Do not get me started, bro, because they were at a perfect spot. They ended at probably one of the best spots they could have ended at with the training.
Yeah, it's like it's only up from here, especially how the manga went. Only up.
Oh man, I could talk about Fire Force all day too. We could save that for another day, maybe a retrospective. Maybe Tyler catches up on that and we talk about it, or Terry catches up too once they meet him.
Yeah,
but we are an hour and a half in. Are y'all good on time? Do you want to keep going, or should we end here?
I think this is a good cutoff point, man. Like we could talk about the new gen stuff next time. That's probably a good one to have Terry in. So I know he has a lot of thoughts on new gen manga and anime as well. So we can definitely.
I think this was a good first episode too.
I agree, man. First of many to come, bro. That's all we gotta know. It's not if, it's when.
We're only gonna get better from here too. So more to discuss in the future as well.
Facts. But if you guys enjoyed, please hit that like, subscribe, comment, all that good jazz. I don't know how Apple Music, I know Will knows more about the Spotify, Apple Music stuff, but subscribe, follow, share with your friends. We're gonna definitely have more. Let us know in the comments or wherever you're watching this what we should cover, what you guys would like to hear, and we'll think about including that in our little plan, man. Well, I'm gonna let you get us with that outro, my brother.
Definitely appreciate y'all, man. Every single one of y'all listening, man. And we'll be back soon. And like you said, like, subscribe, share with your peoples, get the word out. This is definitely gonna be a norm for us going forward. It's like I said, 2 years in the making, man. We've been waiting for this. So definitely excited. Time flew by faster than I thought it would with this. So hearing an hour and a half and how much we've talked about is definitely a good feeling. So I appreciate y'all again, man. Follow us on socials, man. Like we had our socials thrown out there earlier. And yeah, we'll talk to y'all soon, man. Y'all stay safe and have a great night.
Future me, take us out with the outro, man. Let's get this shit.